interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
This is a Funkadelic original.
Challenge me!
Get ready, I'm about to drop it on you. Every you will not survive, because I'm killing it right now. And you can't deny that this is the sound of winning, winning. I know you ain't never seen no one like me do it. I don't care what you're rocking, I don't care where you from. You wanna go into it, oh yeah, I hope you're ready. See the future and I'll beat you in my mind. You know that I think you were safe over on the side. You wanna keep on coming, you really wanna step to me. Then you better get ready, I'm about to drop it on you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host, Carol Shabalala.
Ladies and gentlemen, honored guests, good evening. Sanbonani, Dumelang. Are you guys good? Goeie aand. You're good? I think that was the only way to start off an event as momentous and as exciting as this. We started it off in true Hollywoodbets style. So really excited about what the rest of the evening has in store. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in the company of royalty. You are all looking absolutely gorgeous, really dressed to the nines, because you're fully aware that tonight is a very significant evening. I'd like to say a warm welcome to everyone that is here. This room is filled with royalty, as I rightfully said, filled with dignitaries. I'm talking standout individuals from the entertainment space, from sport, from horse racing, the sport of kings. So in totality, ladies and gentlemen, you are all royalty here tonight, all protocol observed. So good of you to all be with us for a very, very special announcement. Now, I know that some of you sort of have an idea of what it is that we're going to be celebrating, because as you arrived here tonight, you saw the history of a standout event that's so deeply ingrained in the history of horse racing here in South Africa. We looked at some of the highlights from the last couple of years. You know, horse racing, such a big sport in South Africa, and from as far back as what, 1795, you can trace when horse racing officially, of course, was in the spotlight here in the country. So we're just going to take it up a notch tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a lot of important stakeholders that are here, and we're going to be hearing from some of them. our first, and I'd like us to welcome him up here on stage because, as you all know, horse racing is really about passion. It's definitely passion that drives the next individual who's going to be coming up here, the Gold Circle CEO, Michel Nairak. He's very, very passionate. Whether it's on the racetrack, whether it's in the boardroom, he has, of course, taken part in horse racing. He has owned race horses for many years. He became a bloodstock agent back in 1987, chairman of the KZN Owners and Trainers Association in 2000, and CEO of Gold Circle in 2002. And to date, let's give him a warm round of applause as he comes up here to officially welcome all of us. Ladies and gentlemen, Gold Circle CEO, Michel Nairak. Good evening, sir. Looking suave. Let's do this. Oh, with pleasure. There we go, sir.
Thank you. How did you say that? All protocols supplied?
All protocol observed.
All protocols supplied. You know, I'd written a beautiful speech a couple of days ago, and then Basil shredded it. So I'm left now with a piece of paper that read like this, and you know, when it's not your words, you really battle to remember what you have to say. So I've read it, I don't know, about 12 times, and I still can't make any end of it. But I'm going to give it a try, just to please Basil. He's my friend, you know. We've been friends a long, long time. So honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening, and welcome to Hollywoodbets Greyville. Like our beautiful country, Gold Circle has been facing serious challenges and mounting uncertainty. Now, these are very important words from Basil. You know, the achievements and the memories of the past. You know, he doesn't like this, and he's got the power. Basil, stop playing around, please. Let's start again. The achievements and the memories of the past give us the strength to see the challenges that come forward. And nothing is more important than the passion and commitment that stakeholders in the horse racing industry are showing. And it's become invaluable and so greatly appreciated. The same can be said to partnerships, but you're going to hear a lot about it later on. As alluded to, Gold Circle has come through a great deal of strain in the last 4 years. Since, in fact, the legalization of gambling in this country, we saw our market share drop from, the horse racing industry drop from 60% to today to less than 0.5%. Having faced this and survived it, we now have to face the challenges of COVID. We had to face the challenge of the demise of Phumelela, and more recently the July riots that affected us all. But we're still here, and we're still fighting. Today we're facing another challenge in an amendment bill to the KwaZulu-Natal Tax Act, which, if it does happen, will probably send us along the memory lane of Phumelela and become, once again, the forgotten face of the industry. But today's about good news. Today is about forgetting the bad things, putting them away, having a few drinks, and enjoying an evening with friends, and celebrate a very special announcement that you will follow a little bit later on with the panel. So, my job is done. Welcome to the Theatre of Dreams, and I'm not referring to Manchester United. Welcome to the theatre where dreams have been made for decades here, for 200 years. And welcome and enjoy what is to follow, you know, with the announcement that you're going to hear just now. As I said, my job is done. I've got 2 things left to do. The one is to ask you to charge your glasses and raise them in celebration to the birthday of our chairman, Mrs. Belinda Scott. It's her birthday today. Happy birthday, Belinda. And the second one is to urge you all, please enjoy this evening. It's very far and apart that in horse racing we have a great day. And today has been and will be a fantastic night. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Michelle. No, certainly, it has been a great night, and it's going to get even better, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting closer and closer to the time when we're going to be making the big announcement, and you don't want to miss out. I know that you've got your mobile phones on silent because, of course, this is a live production, so we don't want to interfere technically with the running of this particular show, but you haven't switched your phones off because you're on social media and you're going to talk about the big announcement once, of course, it has been made. Now, we're talking about a sport that's filled with individuals that are very, very passionate about it. The next person that we're going to be calling up here and who's going to be addressing us is one such individual when it comes to horse racing. He's been involved in horse racing from all facets for more than half a century. I'm talking punter, owner, race caller, a race journalist, television presenter, auctioneer, a track expert. Really no wonder that this individual is known as Mr. Racing. I'm talking about Graham Hawkins, who's going to be making his way up here. Graham is just the perfect individual, ladies and gentlemen, to give us the history of the magnificent Durban July. Mr. Racing.
I can't let Michelle be the only one to get a hug.
So good to see you. Legend, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow, wow, wow. What a fabulous turnout. Welcome to Hollywoodbets Greyville. For 125 years now, the home of the Durban July. It won't be obvious to our teletrack viewers, but there are 400 guests here this evening from all over the country. And the venue, ladies and gentlemen, amazing how good it looks. I genuinely feel we are in Hollywood. So, what's all the fuss about? For months, from the beginning of March, the road to the Durban July begins in earnest. Not just for the racing folk, but also for the fashionistas, the young designers at college, the hotel industry, the tourist industry at large, for both the city of Durban and the province of KwaZulu-Natal, the hospitality rights owners with all of their service providers, not to mention the events companies which capitalize on the opportunities created by the Durban July, not just on race day, but also pre and post race day. What was a bumper weekend for Durban's economy became a bumper week, and now, until COVID struck, an almost 2-week extravaganza, a massive ongoing city party with the Durban July as its epicenter. And when the excitement comes to a crescendo at 4:20 p.m. on the first Saturday of July, it's all over in a shade over 2 minutes. That's the time it takes for the country's top thoroughbreds to complete the 2,200 meters of the Durban July. The Durban July is still the race all owners want to win, is still the race every jockey wants to win, is still the race every trainer and groom wants to win, is still the race every breeder wants to win. The Durban July is accurately described as one of the biggest annual sporting and social events on the continent of Africa, with up to 50,000 fans in attendance. Drama, controversy, joy, heartache, despair, anxiety, nerves, unbridled happiness, victory speeches, and the inevitable hard luck stories. They're all emotions and feelings which can be described in 3 words: the Durban July. Winning the Durban July is special. Just ask Hollywood Syndicate's brand ambassador, Anthony Delpeche, who is here tonight. As a world-class jockey, he won the race 4 times, one shy of Anton Marcus, who holds the record with 5 victories to his credit. But winning the July does not come easy. Multiple champion jockeys, Basil Marcus, Jeff Lloyd, and Dougie White, never won a July. In fact, so desperate was Jeff Lloyd to win the race, he flew halfway around the world in 2018 to ride Made to Conquer for Nick Johnson and Justin Snaith, only to finish second behind Do It Again. The problem is, as with all sports, nobody remembers who came second. 11 times champion jockey Michael Mace Roberts never won the July during that golden era. But much later in his career, after winning the British Championship, Michael experienced the sweet taste of Durban July glory when winning on Super Quality in 1997. Samanga Khumalo made history when becoming the first black jockey to win the Durban July in 2013, riding heavy metal to a scorching victory for trainer Sean Tarry and owner Chris Finnekirk. Samanga also became the first black champion jockey of South Africa. From a trainer's perspective, the late great Sid Laird holds the record with no fewer than 7 July winners. Terence Millard came close with 6 winners, but the flamboyant Justin Snaith has them both in his sights. He has saddled 5 Durban July winners already, including 3 in a row, 2018, 2019, and 2020. No doubt, Justin will again have a strong hand in the 2022 Durban July as he seeks out victory number 6. This year will be the 126th running of the Durban July, having never missed a beat since first run in 1897. Not even 2 world wars or the COVID-19 outbreak failed to interfere with this record. In 2010, when South Africa hosted the Soccer World Cup, the Durban July was for the first and only time not run on the first Saturday of July, but rather the last Saturday of July to accommodate FIFA's demands. In 1996, the 100th Durban July was won by London News. In 2017, Candice Bass Robinson became the first lady trainer to lift the trophy when Marinaresco carried top weight to victory. And then last year, in 2021, Ashwin Reynolds became the first owner of colour to win Africa's greatest horse race with Comedy Din. Ashwin is here tonight with his lovely wife Renee and son Brandon. And we congratulate you, Ashwin, not only for his victory in last year's July, but also for Comedy Din's recent win in the Cape Town Met at Kenilworth. Congratulations, Ashwin. And there you can see him hugging the beautiful Michelle Ricks. With Comedy Dung's victory last year, Michelle Ricks became the second lady trainer to win the coveted prize. Well done, Michelle. There are so many memories that are woven into the fabric of the Durban July. None more so than the sensational shooting in 1966 of the pre-race favourite Sea Cottage. 3 weeks later, he ran fourth with a bullet still buried in his rump. Sea Cottage, by then a household name, came back a year later to dead heat with Jollify in the 1967 renewal of the Durban July. Ladies and gentlemen, the value of the Durban July is perhaps best measured by the fact that over the past 60 years or so, the race has only had two continuous and highly valued sponsors, Rothmans and Vodacom. A new era now awaits, and we can only hope that the 2022 running of the Durban July will see a return to some form of normality as far as crowd attendance is concerned. I thank you for your time and wish you a wonderful evening further. Let's go for it.
Let's go for it, let's go for it. Mr. Racing, ladies and gentlemen, I love that. Graham, thank you so much for that trip down memory lane. Talking about just some of the standout moments in the history of the Durban July. But what really stood out is that, you know, throughout all of the different racing, as we head into the future, we're starting to see transformation. So how else are we going to continue to move the Durban July into a new era and making it so much more inclusive? I have a feeling that tonight is going to go a long way into doing just that. So what is the big announcement, ladies and gentlemen? Why are we all here? Are you ready to find out? Let's find out. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the future of the Durban July, the Hollywoodbets Durban July. You can start talking about it now. Hashtag July turns purple. Yeah, it deserves another round of applause. Oh yes, lots and lots of excitement. Whew. All right, so these are the hashtags that are going to be trending. As we said, it's time to reinvigorate racing, horse racing here in South Africa, and the most celebrated event on the horse racing calendar. It's going to be bigger, it's going to be better. Let's talk a little bit more. Some of the hashtags that you guys can use. July turns purple, hashtag HDJ 2022, hashtag Hollywoodbets Durban July. So that's the big announcement. Let's get some more information, shall we? Joining me on stage, please, a round of applause from Gold Circle Events and Marketing Executive, Stephen Marshall is here with us tonight. Come on up, Stephen. From Hollywoodbets, we've got the commercial manager, Sandisiwe Pengu. And we've got the brand and communications manager from Hollywoodbets, Devon Heffer. Whew. So much excitement. Sandisiwe, let me start with you. Goosebump moment, right? This is such an historic event. Yeah, it should be on. It's a major announcement, isn't it, for Hollywoodbets? Absolutely. Okay, 2 seconds. Let's make sure it's on. Yeah, we got you. Go ahead, Sandy.
Okay. All right, there we go, there we go. First of all, thank you, Carol, but I'd like to welcome our esteemed guests tonight. You all look so beautiful. You're making this moment even more magical for us. You know, I'd like to welcome the Gold Circle and Hollywoodbets executive, stakeholders who are here, members of the media. Thank you so much. Siyanamukela namhlanje. Usuku olubaluleke kakhulu lolu kuthina Hollywoodbets. Sizothula inhlelo zethu zomcimbi, umjaho wamahashi nomcimbi wezobuciko nenqephu omkhulu obalekile eAfrika yonkana iDurban July osuzokwaziwa ngeHollywoodbets Durban July. Siyathokoza ukuthi nize la namhlanje ukuzoba nathi. We really appreciate you being here today to celebrate this moment with us. And absolutely, Carol, you're right. You know, racing and KZN have a very intimate history. In fact, it is said that the first race took place in KZN as early as the 1840s.
Wow.
But the province as we now know it has evolved quite drastically, you know, politically, economically, culturally. And we as Hollywoodbets feel that it's time that racing also does the same. So our vision for the Hollywoodbets Durban July is to champion, you know, opening up the racing industry to a wider and more inclusive demographic, and to start a journey that we've seen, you know, football and rugby and athletics and other sports take, you know, to being more transformed, more accessible, and really reflect a very diverse country that is South Africa.
We love it. Can everyone hear? I know there's a buzz right at the back there. Those must be our influencers. Very exciting news. Mamelani. Important news here. And you guys have been waiting for all of the information. So here we go. Sandisiwe, as we kuluma about the history, you know, of the Durban July, but and why this is such an important announcement for Hollywoodbets. But what does Hollywoodbets bring to the party?
So we bring a lot of experience, we bring a lot of excitement. You know, it's quite critical for us as well, as Hollywoodbets, as I mentioned, to ensure that we do things differently. We open up the Vodacom Durban July to what was known as the Vodacom Durban July, which is now going into a new era, to a wider demographic as the Hollywoodbets Durban July. So we bring, you know, a culture of being very involved as a sponsor, of not being a faceless sponsor, of being very hands-on. We want to see all of the industries around the Hollywoodbets Durban July, whether it be the fashion, whether it be entertainment, and really leverage those in order, to grow the economy of Itegu, to see Itegu, especially after the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, to make sure that we leverage those. And the critical part of that is that we, as a stakeholder, are embarking on this journey, but we cannot do it alone. And we would like to, really reach out to, the stakeholders that are here today to use their will, and their agency, whether it be political, financial, to really embark on this journey with us to making racing more accessible and to reflect a wider demographic.
Fantastic stuff, yeah. Stephen, let's talk about this big announcement and just how it's going to transform horse racing and add to this wonderful history of the Durban July.
Thanks, Carol. Yeah, I mean, we've in 58 years we've had 2 sponsors, so this announcement doesn't happen very often, and yeah, we're delighted, obviously, that that it is happening now. Thank you to Vodacom. They've been our sponsors for 20 years. We have Michelle van Eyden here tonight, who's been an integral part of growing this event over the years. So thank you to Vodacom. And prior to that, we actually had a year of no sponsors in the transition between Rothmans, who were there for 37 years. So we've got a rich history. We've been blessed to have continuity, which has added to being able to grow this event into what it is today, along with our associate sponsors. The City of Durban, it is the Durban July after all.
Oh, yeah.
We get great support from the City of Durban, Tourism KwaZulu-Natal, Johnson Workwear, and Coca-Cola have been with us on this journey over the last 20 years as well. So yeah, very blessed to have such loyal sponsors. As I said, this is a once-in-a-generation announcement. We are so happy that a company as massive as Hollywoodbets, based here in Durban as well, is going to help us take this event forward. And yeah, I just see that looking at tonight, if it's anything to go by, we've got a very exciting road ahead.
Oh, agreed. Devon, we know that horse racing has played such a big part in terms of Hollywoodbets history. Tell us a little bit more. Give us some background to that.
Just to first off, big welcome to everyone. Thank you, welcome, and fantastic having everyone here at Hollywoodbets Grable. Yeah, Carol, this going a bit off scripture, but I mean, this is an extremely emotional and very, very special moment for Hollywoodbets. You know, this is the very place, this race course where our owner and director, Owen Heffer, 1984, 4 rand in his pocket, you know, used his wits and analytics of horse racing to sell tipping sheets outside. He could only make 100 copies because he only had 4 rand in his pocket, at 4 cents a copy. And it was a battle for survival. It was, you know, a young child and a young family, and it's just amazing to see what has started from there became Winning Form. What Winning Form became Hollywoodbets, and our first Hollywoodbets branch, Argyle, is literally 1 kilometer down the road. In 2018, 2019, when we became Hollywoodbets Grable, and now to be at the pinnacle of racing, to be the pinnacle of South African culture and the pinnacle of events in this country, the Hollywoodbets Durban July is something extremely special and something I'm very proud of.
Yeah.
So, but the thing is, Carol, you can't do that without an incredible team, and I think I've just also, guys, an incredible well done to the Hollywood team and Gold Circle team and everyone here tonight. It looks absolutely incredible. But, you know, with a big event like this comes with a big responsibility.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's a massive, massive influence on the economy. There's such a big impact. There's so many players involved directly and indirectly with racing. There's people who build their businesses around this once-a-year event. So if we can just make it a little bit better and add our purple flavor to it, I reckon there's a lot of excitement to come. You know, we've got a big legacy to continue, but it's certainly a new chapter.
Yeah, it's interesting, Stephen. Devin talking about the legacy that needs to continue. What can fans of horse racing really look forward to after this very big announcement?
Energy.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've had 2 years of no fans on the course, and that's been pretty devastating, not only for fans of horse racing, but for the hospitality industry, for the tourism industry, for the marquee promoters. You know, everyone has felt the pinch of what the COVID epidemic's done to sports and the fan base. But as Graham mentioned earlier, we've had a 125-year history. It's been uninterrupted, and there's a reason for that. There's something special about the Durban July that keeps people coming back. It brings people together. It's that one day a year that people might not watch horse racing any other day, but on Durban July Day they're here. They may not take a bet any other day of the year, but Durban July Day they take a bet. There's something about the event that just pulls people together, and we cannot wait to welcome people back to Hollywoodbets Gravel for the Hollywoodbets Durban July.
I think that's a big one for the fans of horse racing, yeah? Well, we certainly can't wait to be back. Sandiso, I know that one thing that so many individuals are really passionate about as well is, just hearing the history, and especially the recent history, just the transformation and really making it more inclusive. So, Hollywoodbets as a title sponsor, what are you looking to achieve? And, we've got this whole Durban July fever. How do you take advantage of that?
Thanks, Carol. So we don't just want to be a title sponsor, As Hollywoodbets, we always put our name behind projects that we truly believe in. And we truly believe that the Hollywoodbets Durban July, has a lot of potential to open up a lot of opportunities, as I've mentioned, economically for, small to medium enterprises. And that's what we want to see. We want to see that inclusivity. We want to see a lot of people participating in this particular event, whether it's directly or indirectly. And I think when it comes to the July fever, wow, you have to be here. You take a drive down Florida Road, you go into Chartwell Drive as early as like the Tuesday or the Wednesday before, and you feel it. You go to Moses Mabhida to the iconic Fat Durban Rocks concert. You take a drive on Sunday, the day after the event, to Max's Lifestyle in Mlazi, and you just see such, a diverse audience that this particular race and this particular event, probably the biggest in South Africa, attracting people from across all 9 provinces to just see the impact that it has. And we want to take it a step further, where we really bring in all facets of this prestigious event, the tourism, the fashion, the entertainment, to really transform. And I mean, Durban July, I think, as an event has transformed. And we want to use it to further transform now the racing aspect, and I think the sport of racing. So that's what we aim to do, and that is our vision as the title sponsor.
Sounds good to us. Yeah. Now, Stephen, Sandisiwe talks about this, the Durban July, now the Hollywoodbets Durban July being the biggest race in South Africa. Is it fair to say it's the biggest on the African continent? And it's not just about horse racing, right? It's also the most anticipated lifestyle event as well in the country.
Yes, Carol, it's so much more than just a horse race. Yeah. If it was just a horse race, we probably wouldn't have half the people here tonight. It's an event which is built not only on horse racing, but on fashion and entertainment as well. But don't get me wrong, the horse racing aspect, the word pinnacle has been used a number of times tonight. It is the pinnacle of South African horse racing. It is the prize that everyone wants to win. Mr. Ashman Reynolds, you can attest to that. Mr. Michelle Ricks, you can attest to that. Gavin Lorena, you can attest to that. We've got last year's champions here with us. We're honored to have them. And for anyone in racing, they know what it is to win this race. It's a privilege. But as I said, it's not just about that. The fashion and entertainment are critical pillars in this event to establish it in the market that it's not just a horse race. The event is at the core of the city of Durban's tourism sector. If we look at that July holiday period, in 2019, which was our last public event, the event drew in directly and indirectly 300 million rand into the city's GDP.
Wow.
It's a substantial amount of money, and the entertainment industry, as Sandy said, it doesn't just benefit on actual race day. There's events leading up, there's even post-events. It doesn't stop there. And I think we're incredibly fortunate here in Durban that we've got an event such as the Hollywoodbets Durban July that supports so many different industries.
Yeah, can you talk about the impact in terms of the fashion industry?
Yeah, the fashion is an extremely important pillar in this event. We're actually incredibly fortunate in that we get to release the theme a full 4 months before the event, and it's almost we're forced to. It's quite a unique situation where the theme of the Durban July is incorporated into the design tertiary syllabus. So we have the Young Designer Awards competition that runs every year, and students from design technicons and colleges actually compete in that competition in order to get to the final fashion showcase. And there they get to mingle with our other 2 tiers of fashion, which is the Durban Fashion Fair, Rising Stars, and our invited designers. And you know, our goal with that program is to try and empower young students to further their careers and to use this event as a launch pad. Last year we had Lara Karkowski, who was a previous winner of the Young Designer Award, and last year she was invited back as an invited designer.
Wow.
So she did the full circle, and that's what we want to see. We want to see more of that. Yeah, so fashion is a critical pillar in this. And then on the retail side as well, we've got Gateway Theatre of Shopping as an associate sponsor, and that retail side of fashion pulls in and allows the public to also embrace the fashion theme and the fashion pillar within the event. And we've got obviously public fashion on the day as well, so there's a platform there as well for the public.
Well, we're really excited to hear the announcement in terms of the theme for the 2022 Hollywoodbets Durban July. And Stephen already talking about the fact that we really are hoping that, you know, we're going to start seeing the public as well back, you know, attending this year's event. We're hoping.
We are hoping, Carol.
Okay.
I was at the Met a few weeks ago now, and they had a crowd of 2,000 people, and even that, you know, you take it for granted, the vibe that a crowd brings. But we will be guided by government, what protocols are in place. We have a very stringent safety and security protocol to follow with this type of event, and whether there's 55,000 people or there's 1,000 people, we take it as seriously, and we've got to make sure that people's safety is paramount at an event like this.
Devin, I want you to talk to us about Hollywoodbets and how it approaches its sponsorships, or its partnerships, as you like to say. I mean, you look at the involvement with, for example, the Hollywoodbets Dolphins, the Sharks, Hollywoodbets Super League, really, really important. And it just seems that at the heart of it all, and also, of course, with Brentford Football Club, just there's always a different approach to your partnerships.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, you know, we don't do sponsorships, we do partnerships. And, you know, it's, as Sandy mentioned earlier, we don't just put our name behind anything, especially something if we don't believe in it, and we get fully involved. I mean, it's fantastic to have so many people here that, you know, such as the Sharks and the Dolphins and a few of the football legends, our brand ambassadors. I mean, to have guys like Brian Beloy, Jerry Skosana, some rugby legends like Akona and Odwa and Ngani in your corner, you know, you can't go too wrong. But it's using that influence of using our sponsorships to bring our communities together. Yeah. I think that's the biggest thing, is how can we grow the different sports that we're involved in, and how can we benefit the community at the end of the day. And when you look at the likes of the Nomzamo and Batters, the people who are now gracing the Hollywood stages, you know, the silver screens and everything. It's absolutely incredible. And we're trying to get all of them involved in racing. We had Nomzama name a horse. She came to Summerfeld. We had Brian Beloy, Spider's Corners, now 6 times winner, which is absolutely incredible. We've got Jerry Skosana, Emilenze Yoko Duduma, you know, Legs of Thunder. Hey, he's actually running on Sunday, so there's a tip. But you know, it's one of those things. What we're trying to do is bring different people together. I mean, we had the Sharks the other day at Summerfeld. There was an incredible picture captured with Sia Khaleesi, our Springbok captain, with Black White Dynamite, one of the horses we named with the Sharks. And if we can bring different sporting codes together and you know, get them involved with the passion and energy with horse racing, we got to have a lot of fun, and we're going to use the Hollywoodbets Durban July platform to do that.
Yeah, Sandy, I want you to talk to us a little bit more about the face of horse racing in South Africa that is changing, and how we're really celebrating that and embracing it, because we're starting to see more people of color getting involved, not just participating when it comes to horse racing, but thriving and rising to the top.
Absolutely, Carol. I think it was mentioned earlier that Ashwin Reynolds is here with us, who's, you know, become the first owner, you know, of a Durban July winner with Komedi Ding. We've got, you know, Smanga Khumalo and Muzi, and who've been consistent, you know, as top jockeys in South Africa, with Smanga Khumalo actually being the first black jockey to win the Durban July in 2013 with Heavy Metal. And, you know, he's recently won the Queen's Plate, actually. And Umuzian has also been consistent. You know, he's been there in the championship battle for jockey title. And, you know, that's all amazing and it's wonderful. But for us as Hollywoodbets, it's not enough. And this is why, you know, we've embarked on a project where we've actually sponsored 16 apprentices with full bursaries at the South African Jockey Academy, because we want to invest in the next crop of black jockeys in South Africa.
Woo! I think that deserves a round of applause. Oh, yes. We also know, of course, of the wonderful investment in terms of the Grooms Initiative.
Oh, yeah. You know, that one's been very rewarding as well. And I think, you know, we had the opportunity in partnership with Gold Circle to acknowledge those who often go unrecognized, you know, in this wonderful sport. You know, the grooms spend their days, day in and day out, looking after these majestic animals. And for us to be able to, you know, reward the grooms, you know, was something very special. So we were awarding 1,000 rand to each groom for every winning race. And, you know, I think we're actually about to award our 2,000th winner.
Yep.
Sorry. Yeah, it is 2000th winner, 28th of February. I think that's right, Dev. We're going to be awarding our 2000th winner. So that's a 2 million rand investment between Gold Circle and Hollywoodbets to that initiative, which is amazing. But we're not done there. We're going to be doubling that up for 3 months, from the 1st of March through to the end of May. So that's an extra 200,000 investment. There'll be 400,000 rand during those 3 months that will be going to the grooms of winning horses in KwaZulu-Natal. And that's going to take our investment over the calendar year to 1.2 million into that initiative. And we've got Ernest Jalobani from the KZN Grooms Association here. We're very happy to have him here, and yeah, we wish him well. We're looking forward to adding more of these types of initiatives in future.
Really, really great news, man. Wow. So it's wonderful, Devon, you know, just to see how it is that you're investing more and more into horse racing and the development of it. Plans in terms of champion season? What can you tell us?
Yeah, well, champion season is the pinnacle of the racing calendar for us, especially here in KZN. I mean, it's the one where all the action starts happening. You know, we start building up and building up and building up. Who's gonna make that final field for the Hollywoodbets Durban July? Who's gonna be in that 18 that's crashing out the gates come that day? But there's so much in the build up to that, and not only that, there's feature races, there's minor races, and it's so important that us as a company and us in partnership with Gold Circle are looking after all stakeholders. So tonight, we're actually really proud to announce that between Hollywoodbets and Gold Circle,
Wait,
we're
wait,
gonna-
wait, wait, wait. Ladies and gentlemen,
What?
another big announcement, yeah?
Another big announcement.
Yeah?
Not yeah, this is actually the second one, but is that it's going to be, there's going to be a massive investment of 13 million rand from the 1st of March to the 31st of August of champion season,
Woo.
which is pretty incredible, seeing that it's not only going to be covering feature races, as I mentioned, it's going to be covering minor races as well, really, which is going to benefit the pockets of the owners, the jockeys, the trainers, and as you saw, the grooms. So it's really important to us, but that's not where the 13 million stops. There's actually more.
There's more?
There's more. So, yeah, we believe that the biggest race in South Africa deserves the biggest purse. So last year we competed for 2 billion rand.
Mm-hmm.
This year, I'll let you tell.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's find out what that figure is going to be.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ha-ha! How much is it? 5 million rand. Ladies and gentlemen, another round of applause. Woo! We can barely take it. Big announcement after big announcement after big announcement. And let me tell you something, we are most definitely trending. The 2022 Hollywoodbets Durban July is going to be way bigger, way better than anything we've ever seen before. We are definitely taking horse racing in South Africa, you know, to a whole other level. Are you happy? Are you excited? Yeah? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being a part of this very special announcement. The formalities are done, they're concluded, but of course the night is far from over. We've got great and wonderful individuals that are here, some more entertainment that is planned, and for the members of the media, I know that this is an important part. After such a big announcement, you want to get an opportunity, of course, to speak to the important stakeholders. If you can all just meet up right in front, it's my stage left, your stage right. Just meet there and we'll have the Hollywoodbets PR team standing by to get you your all-important interviews. Well, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Now, just continue to talk about the wonderful events leading up to the 2022 Hollywoodbets Durban July. It's been a fantastic evening, not done as yet. We've got wonderful DJs as well standing by to make sure that we celebrate the news into the wee hours, of course, of the morning. Enjoy it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here.